Networking is about farming, not hunting. It's more than just having a drink and a canapé at a networking event and chit chat. Don't go there handing out resumes. You go there to have interesting conversations with people. And how do you do that?
Hi everyone, welcome to InFocus. AI can write your cover letter, AI can write your resume, and AI can do everything that you want it to do. But AI cannot do networking for you. So here I have a networking expert with me, Nate Toevs. I want to just dive in.
Let's go.
Right? What is networking in 2026?
Yeah, honestly, I think networking is what it's been for many, many years. And it's the people that are good at networking are able to develop real relationships with people, really connect at a deeper level. And there's all sorts of different levels of networking. It all depends, I think, on what somebody's goal is. But if you're using business networking as a marketing strategy, then it's more than just having a drink and a canapé at a networking event and chit chat, small talk. What it is, it's about turning small talk into smart talk. And I've learned a lot of that through my time at BNI, Business Network International. And I certainly want to make it clear that I give all credit to the founder, Dr. Ivan Meisner, and what I've learned in 10 plus years at BNI about building deeper connections with people.
At most networking events, I see two kinds of people who are, really looking to network or have that glare in their eyes that they're looking for somebody to talk to.
Yeah, it's gonna run!
And it's either people who are looking for business or someone who's looking for a job opportunity.
Yeah.
Initially, when I used to go to networking events, I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I used to just take my phone, swipe Instagram or something like that, just to avoid the awkwardness until someone approaches me. So if you were to give an advice to someone who's going to a networking event as an entrepreneur or as like a job seeker, what's the first thing they should be doing?
Yeah, neither of those things. When you go to a networking event, you shouldn't sell. When you go to a networking event, even though you're looking for a job, you shouldn't be hunting down the people there to find a job. What you should be doing is connecting, is learning about their business. What is it that they're dealing with? When you go to a networking event, if you have a product to sell, there's nobody there that wants to buy that today. Now, if you're carrying around some Girl Guide cookies, you might make a sale. But if you're selling marketing or AI or social media or web services, nobody's there to buy that at that meeting. Networking is about farming, not hunting. And when you're farming, what are you doing? You're planting seeds, and then you're watering, and you're fertilizing, and you're seeing it grow. But it's a process, right? It's a long game. Farming is a long game. Hunting is a little bit of a shorter game, like cold calling.
Yeah.
And there's not much of that done compared to what it was, but it'd be like, you're out there, you're hunting for business, you're finding a need, and then you're trying to fulfill it. Networking is the opposite. It's a bit of a longer game where you're building those connections with people, and through understanding who they are, what they do, and what their needs are, there you might be able to create an opportunity. But that's not going to happen at likely the networking event. The start of that relationship can happen, and then you build from that. And how do you do that? Well, you get people to know you a little bit, like you a little bit, and then you work to develop the trust to where they'd consider you as a vendor. And Ayaan, it's the same thing for people hunting for a job. Most of the people there aren't there to hire somebody. Now, there's always an exception, but they're there to meet people. So if you're going to a networking event and you're looking for a job, which I fully support people doing that, don't go there handing out resumes. You go there to have interesting conversations with people. And how do you do that? By not being interesting, but by being interested in them, by being interested in what their business is, by asking good questions. And from there, now you connect. Then to LinkedIn, you send maybe a thank you note. There's lots of different ways to build that network of people that the next time you go to that networking event, now you might be able to build a little deeper relationship.
what does one do with all the nervousness that creeps up when they go to a networking event? Because as soon as you enter a networking event, there are like 100 people or like a 50 people bunch, and everyone seems to be in their own groups. So if, let's say, a 25-year-old entrepreneur or job seeker is going and gets nervous, what's the first thing they should do?
Well, first of all, that's totally normal. Let's bring that out. It's totally normal that you might be nervous. And you know what? There's going to be some other people there that are nervous too. So if you're really nervous, before you walk in the room, calm yourself a little bit. Understand that there's a whole bunch of people there that are doing exactly what you're doing there. And there's some of them that are going to be nervous. And if it's really hard for you, do those deep breaths and then go into the room and look for that person standing by themselves. And that'd be the first person I would talk to. The other thing you do, and this is something Dr. Meisner from BNI teaches us, is you look for open groups, not closed ones. So if we were to imagine 3 or 4 people, if they're standing in a tight circle, that's a closed group, probably not the one you want to go to. But if you see 3 people standing in an open fashion where there's one here, one there, and one there, and there's a room for a 4th or a 5th, that's an open group, and they're there to network, and they understand the importance of allowing other people to come and network with them. So those are some of the things that I would look for, especially if you're nervous. Right? And that's common and normal.
100%.
Yeah.
I was listening to this podcast. In that podcast, there was this line, you should never say, even when you're approaching via text or you're approaching in person, you should not always ask the person, how are you doing? But they were like, you should talk about some current event. If someone is, not aware about the current events, are there some practices one can keep in mind? Or should they prepare in advance based on how they should be talking? What would you say?
Okay, so there's a lot there, Ayaan. Being prepared is always beneficial. First of all, when somebody asks you, so let's say you're not looking for a job, let's say you have one, you have a role, and when somebody asks you, what do you do? Don't just tell them, I'm an architect, or I'm a this, or I'm a that. You say, well, I'm in the architecture field, and I'm really passionate about the field, and what lights me up about the work that I do is when I'm able to work with clients that have a very unique vision. So something like that, where I'm not just a chiropractor, I'm not just an architect, I'm not just a lawyer, I'm in this field, and this is the kind of work that I do, and these are the real problems I solve, or this is what I really enjoy doing it. So that you're not just giving a standard answer, okay? Would be one thing I would do. The other thing, as far as being prepared, is learning how, and this is a skill that people can learn, how to ask good questions. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, you try and avoid closed-ended questions. That the only thing they're going to come back is yes or no. You want to ask open-ended question. And with Google today and ChatGPT and all the different AIs, there's a lot of ways to learn that stuff and practice that stuff, because you can have the conversation now with the AI bot. And practice, because what does it come down to? Practice. Practice makes perfect. You still might be nervous, but the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it. It might take a lot of courage to get that first conversation going, but after that, it becomes easier. Get out of your comfort zone and just do the thing. Nobody's going to bite you. Nobody's going to tell you to leave. They're going to give you some space and some grace, especially if you're nervous. And it's okay. It's normal.
There are some people who don't know how to read the room. Right? How does one get good at reading the room?
Same answer. It's just practice. It is. It just, after a while, you get a feel for people. You really do. And you're supposed to go there and have fun, right? So let's talk about that right away. You're supposed to go there and have fun. Like, that's part of this, is you're supposed to have fun. People like to laugh. People like to spend time with people where it's fun. It can't always be serious talk, right? But it takes a little practice. But the more you do it, the more confidence you'll build.
True.
Right? And certainly what I do, my goal is to get the other person talking first, because most people love to talk about themselves and their business, right? And where I can get past the chit chat, past the small talk, into the smart talk. We talked about preparation. There's a way that you can give yourself a reminder of some of the good questions, how to start asking questions, and it's an acronym. And it's about topics. What are topics that you want to talk about that'll get people going, and then you can go down the road? Well, it could be family, could be financial, what's going on in financial markets, stock investing, some people like that, activities that people are interested in. I love asking people, have you had a good travel experience lately? And people will tell you incredible stories.
Yeah.
And then once you get them talking about that kind of stuff, then you can say, okay, wow, that's amazing. Hey, tell me a little bit about what's going on in your company right now. And now you've just shifted the conversation from chit chat, small talk, into smart talk. And then you start asking them good questions about the work they do, the difference that they make in their industry. What are the biggest problems they solve for their customers? Planting seeds, growing those seeds, and turning it into longer lasting relationships.
You've been to a lot of networking events. A lot of networking.
Yeah, one or two a week.
Yeah,
for 10 years.
Yeah. We have collaborated on a couple of events.
Yes,
as well.
we have.
What are top 3 mistakes people make when they enter into a networking event?
We've covered some of them already. People sell. Same with on LinkedIn. You connect with somebody on LinkedIn, and then the first thing you do is you send them a message to sell them something. It turns me off right away. Like, it's just the wrong thing to do. People buy from people they trust.
Yeah.
If I don't even know you yet, and you're already trying to pitch me on something, so don't sell. 2, some people will talk about topics that really, in most networking events, shouldn't be. And those 2 topics usually are politics and religion. And I know in today's world, we're all talking about politics, but in a networking event, you probably want to avoid controversial topics unless the networking event is about a controversial topic, climate change, politics, or religion. And religion, man, that's a tough place to go anytime.
Yeah.
Because it can just create such animosity, unless you're doing it from a standpoint of curiosity, then that's different. 1, they sell. 2, they talk about controversial topics. And 3, I've met some people that are the ones that probably are really struggling to do the networking, and you can't pull anything out of them. And they're, yep, nope, or they're grumpy. If you've had a really hard day and you're just not into it, it's okay to take a pass, right? However, one week, probably 2 years ago now, I'd had a busy week, and I had a couple early morning events, and I did a networking event on a Tuesday and a Wednesday night, and on the Thursday was a Greater Vancouver one, and I was gonna bail, and I didn't. And I went, and I had one of the best meetings. I met this lady named Kara. She works in some different areas of working with people with mental health challenges and other things. And we had this incredible conversation. You know what she said to me? Right. She says, Nate, I was going to bail on this thing as well. But I pushed myself forward and I went. So if you're going to go, make the best of it.
I was listening to this, another audiobook. It was about networking or connecting with people. And the audiobook mentioned that you should always have a trinket with you during networking.
Okay.
A trinket is something interesting. Like, it can be a good watch. It can be like a different kind of a ring.
Okay.
Or maybe it can be a hairstyle or the jacket you're wearing or like a badge.
Yeah.
So I've also noticed that things like that, you can always, poach in and ask people about, hey, what's that? And you also need to be an interesting person, right?
Okay. Yeah, so I disagree with the comment that we shouldn't be interesting unless somebody's interested in us, and then we can tell them something interesting. But I like, it's interesting, I didn't know where you were going with that. I'm that guy. I'm that guy that'll ask about the interesting brooch, the cool watch, the great hairdo, and I do that in those exact ways to start the small talk and then move it into smart talk. But one of the things, again, that Dr. Meisner says from BNI is don't be interesting, be interested. Be curious. Ask good questions. But sincerely. And I am sincerely a curious person.
Yeah.
I love hearing the stories about people, where they're from, what their background has been, the challenges that they've overcome to get where they are today. So I will ask about the trinket, the bracelet, the brooch, or the cool coat they're wearing.
Yeah.
But in a truly curious fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep something up on me always. Like once the networking event is over, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people just scramble to grab on to each other's phones, like give me a LinkedIn, give me a LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I do find that's not the most graceful way to exit. What is a graceful way to exit from a networking event?
Okay, so two things there. One, there's graceful ways to exit a conversation that has either run its course or whatever. It was just done. You've spent the time. Thank them. Ayaan, I really enjoyed this conversation, but we're both here to network, and you and I have had a great conversation over the last 20 minutes, but we only got another half hour.
Yeah.
Again, I really thank you for the time we spent. I'm going to make sure I connect, and I'm going to get you that information I promised you, and I'm going to go find the next great conversation today. Thanks for spending some time with me. Just be gracious, right? Because everybody's there to do the same thing if it's a networking event.
Now that I entered the networking event, got rid of my jitters, spoke to multiple people, learned how to exit gracefully, right? How should I follow up? Should I just, I have their LinkedIn, I have their email, but how should I do it in a way that it doesn't feel awkward? Because I have noticed, and a lot of people have noticed, when they are following up with me or I'm following up with them, there's this uneasiness, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest challenges, isn't it? So again, I go back to Dr. Meisner. He talks about his 24/7/30 process. And so here's what you're going to do. When you're having these, if you get past chit chat into smart chat and you go a little deeper, you got to have a way to remember that. So if you get a business card from them, you can write a couple notes on the business card after you've ended the conversation. Or if you've promised to follow up with them, what I'll do, I'm 62, my memory's not what it used to be. I'll say, hey, I'm just going to pull out my phone and send myself a quick email. That reminds me to follow up. And if they tell you something that is worth remembering, where in the follow-up you can, because you got to also remember that person might have had 5 or 6 conversations that evening too, right? And your agenda might be different than them in the farming and hunting thing, right? So here's what he talks about, 24/7/30. Within 24 hours, send them a note. An email is okay, obviously. You want to really stand out? Send them a note. Send them a thank you card. Right? You want to really stand out? Send them something in the mail. I guarantee you, if you go to a networking event, have a good conversation with somebody, nobody else is sending them a written letter. The people on your podcast are probably like, just listen to this old man. Because not only did you have a good conversation, but you remembered what it is, and then you followed up. So within 24 hours, a note, email, or a card. 2, this is 24/7. The 7 is within 7 days, connect with them on the platform that they use. LinkedIn, Twitter, Blue Sky, right? A lot of people have left Twitter to Blue Sky. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever they use, ask them. That's part of the conversation happen, and send them a note. Don't sell. Don't sell, don't sell. You're not at that stage yet. And then within 30 days, 24/7/30, if it makes sense, book a meeting with them.
100%.
Right?
100%. I also try to do different things. When someone asks me about my work, I have a funny answer, and then I have a very inclusive answer, or like an intuitive answer. The funny answer is, what do you do? I manipulate people and I get paid for it. That's marketing. That's marketing, right?
Yeah, sure.
And the other answer is, more related to today's day and age, because with AI, everything is evolving. So I'll just go like, these days I'm evolving. I'm changing with the times, because the world is changing.
The world is changing.
100%.
See, and I love what you said about that, because in a different networking group that I was in, so I've been in BNI twice, once from 1999 to 02, and then from 2015 to today. But I left BNI in 2002, and I joined another group called Focus Networking, ran by a lady who unfortunately has left us now. Her name was Donna Willen. And one of the things that she taught us is, when you're telling somebody what you do, and I talked about this already a little bit, it isn't just I'm an accountant, I'm a lawyer, what is the impact you make? How do you differentiate yourself? And give them an example, and you need to have a 20 to 40 second thing that explains the deeper work that you do and maybe the problems that you solve for somebody and how you differentiate yourself. Those are things that people will remember, right? If they meet 3 lawyers or 3 social media people or 3 people in AI, you meet a lot of people in AI at events nowadays, how are you different than the other 2 people I just met, right? Like what is your differentiator? It's in sales, we call it a USP, unique selling proposition. What is your unique selling proposition? What is your unique aspect to your business that would interest me if I was interested in those services or products?
What's the worst networking advice you've heard someone give to someone else?
Go get as many cards as you can. It's not quantity, it's quality. The other thing today for the young people here today, when you own a business, get a business card. This electronic stuff is fine for making it easier to get the information in a database. And I encourage you to use that. But you want to make an impression with somebody, give them a high quality business card.
White. Impressive. Very nice.
Something that when you hand it over to them, it feels good. Something when you hand it over to them, it's got some heft to it, a thicker stock. And it's an impressive business card because it's an extension of you and it makes a difference. I believe it makes a big difference. So use both. Use the technology, leverage the technology, scan for LinkedIn, whatever, use an UVO card or whatever it's called, but have a high quality business card. You'll make an impression with people with that.
It's more tangible.
It's tangible, man.
This is just to sum up the whole journey that we've been through. The journey started from someone entering the networking event and now they're leaving and now the follow-ups. Which part of this stage requires the most effort?
Well, they all do, I think. So it depends on the person, right? But getting a business started when you're an entrepreneur and you're doing networking and you're doing other activities, you know, the analogy I always use for people is it's like getting a big rock rolling. And sometimes it feels like you're pushing the big rock up the hill. But eventually, once you've done the reps and you have a good process and you've made some sales and then you've turned it into happy customers and then they're starting to give you referrals and now you get some Google reviews, then it's like now the rock starts to move on its own, right? Because you're no longer on a hill. You've got it on a level path, right? And then eventually, it's like, oh, now you've found the hill on the other side, and that rock is rolling on its own because you've done all the heavy lifting. But again, it's supposed to be fun. And you're going there to connect. And one of the things, again, back to B&I, is we talk about giver's gain. When you're going to these networking events, you're not going there to take, you're going there to give. You're going there to help. And let's face it, folks, if you look at the internet and companies today, many of them got built on giving stuff away. Right? Free email program, free web sites, free this, free that. And they eventually turn those free customers into paying customers.
Free food.
Right? Free food, right? There's a lot of different ways to give away some of your stuff that then turns it into revenue. And there's a lot of businesses that do that model today by having a newsletter, by having a podcast, by having a stuff, and then they turn their listening audience, their free audience, into paying customers, right? And I love to do that when I go to a networking event, is helping people for free. I've been in sales and marketing all my life. I love having a conversation that goes down the road and gives somebody an idea. I'm not telling them what to do, I'm just making a suggestion.
You know what I can think of right now? I can think of this podcast getting released and someone listening to this podcast on the SkyTrain back to Surrey or Vancouver, wherever, on the Expo line or the Canada line, or maybe somewhere in Ontario.
Taking a flight.
100%. So if someone is listening to this, someone is listening to your voice right now, and they need to do 3 things, what are the 3 things that they can do?
Okay, well, there's a lot of places we could go with that, but let's say they haven't gotten started. Okay, so the first thing you can do is join a local chamber of commerce, right? If you've got a business, you've got a legitimate business now, and you want to get some customers, a great place to start is a local chamber of commerce, because they'll have networking events. I'm a member of 4. I literally network for my organization. I'm a member of the Surrey, the Burnaby, the Tri-Cities, which is Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, and Port Moody, and the Greater Vancouver Board of Trade. The second thing they can do is join a networking group. The one I'm part of is BNI, Business Network International. It's been around for over 40 years. It's in 76 countries. India has some of the biggest BNI groups in the world, okay?
Wow.
And you'll be impressed. There's not just BNI, that's what I'm part of. I'm in year 11 again in this stint. They'll teach you how to be a better networker. And the third thing you can do is study and learn. Study and learn, practice. Study and learn, practice. How do you do that? Podcasts. Going to networking events, using the skills that you've learned. We've been talking now for about 40 minutes or 35 minutes. Take some of the stuff that you and I talked about and go try it. There's nothing can go wrong if you just try, be kind, be gracious, go have fun, and piece by piece, you'll get better at it. But it's a long game, right? Because you're not going there to sell, you're going there to build, you're going there to connect, you're going there to make relationships that last.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a ton of great information online. There's all sorts of podcasts other than what we're talking about. Like I said, the BNI official podcast, there's almost 1,000 of them. And these podcasts are 10 to 15 minutes long. And I listen to them regularly and I learn new stuff all the time. So those would be the 3 things I would do. Join a local chamber of commerce, join a peer networking group, and then practice, learn, repeat. Practice, learn, repeat.
We have a lot of people who are looking for jobs, right? There are business owners, but there are also a lot of job seekers, right? We can say a lot of where the job market is headed, but of course, people have to try, right? So if you had one piece of advice for someone who's looking for a job and going to all these networking events, what's your advice?
There are jobs out there, but a lot of them are in the hidden job market. And one of the reasons for that is because there's so many people looking for a job, is that if you and I had a company and we are hiring and we put an ad on Indeed, we get 300 resumes.
True.
150 of those people, they're not even in Canada yet.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the way the Indeed engine works. And I get it. Those people are hungry. They want to come to Canada, but they're not here yet. So we can't even hire them, probably. Like the chances of us being able to hire them are pretty slim. 100%. 2, another 100 of those resumes of the 300 we got, those people aren't even remotely qualified for the job posting we did. You don't have to be totally, you don't have to have everything, but if you don't have 70 or 80% of the qualifications they're looking for, that's probably not going to work either. But you and I still got to go through them all and go good, good, bad, 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 good, good, right? And then so you and I got to go through how many dozens and dozens and dozens of resumes to find the 5 to 10 that we're going to put on a short list. So where's the advice to go there? They are in the hidden job market. And if you and I own this company and we're hiring, the first thing we're doing, man, is we're sending an email to our existing team.
True.
And we're saying, hey team, we got an opening in this department. These are the qualifications we're looking for. This is the experience we're looking for. And if you refer somebody that gets the job and stays for whatever it is, 90 days, 180 days, there's a $150, $250, $500 bonus in it for you to bring somebody in from your list of contacts. So how do you find those jobs? You network. You make sure everybody in your circle that already knows you, likes you, and trusts you, knows what you're looking for. You're at a networking event, and you've had a great conversation with somebody, and they're like, "Well, what do you do?" And you're like, "Well, right now I'm looking for my next great opportunity. I've just finished my 2nd degree, or my 3rd degree. I wouldn't tell them I have this degree, that degree. I would say I just finished my 3rd degree at XYZ in this field, and I'm looking to get this job, and it's a title." And some of the companies I've been looking at have been Lululemon, blah, 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 blah. And when you're specific, well, you never know, man. This guy or gal that you're talking to, their neighbor might work for that company. They might have just played golf with the guy from that company that's in HR.
True.
When you're specific, and I believe in, whether you believe in God, Buddha, Allah, or the universe, I believe in the universe and the power of, once you put it out there, the message, it has a way to find its home.
True.
I really honestly believe that, and I've seen it happen. If you've been to a university in Canada, and this is where you're hunting for a job, and there's an alumni, make sure the alumni association, maybe they've got a job board, maybe they do networking events, make sure your prof, if your prof really loved you, man, make sure he knows or she knows what you're looking for. They've probably got contacts that might benefit from knowing you. Lastly, do a video on LinkedIn. 30 to 45 seconds long. Be specific. Be articulate. Record it once or twice or 3 times. Don't be too hard on yourself, and then post it. You get 10 times activity on LinkedIn when you do video versus a text post. And that's what I would do. And then ask people to share it widely. Right? That's something that I would do.
Wow, it has been one of the most insightful conversations I've had lately.
Oh, you did a great job preparing for this. I just want to share with the audience what I do.
100%, good.
So I work for a nonprofit organization called Neil Squire. We work with people with disabilities, and I'm the marketing manager for a program called WorkBC Assistive Technology Services. So if you know somebody here in Canada, in British Columbia specifically, that's trying to get in the workforce through WorkBC, and if they have a barrier, they have a disability, chronic pain, an old injury, they need hearing aids, we have funding to get the assessments they need and the assistive technology they need to get in the workforce. The other group of people we serve are people already in the workforce. So if you're listening to this podcast, you have a disability, chronic pain, an old injury, you need hearing aids, you're losing your vision, you need visual aids, the WorkBC Assistive Technology Program is looking for you to apply. And if you get approved, we're going to do an assessment by one of our amazing occupational therapists, and then we're going to pay for some or all the tools you need to stay in the workforce. And I promote that program throughout British Columbia. Like I said, I do a lot of networking. That's how I met you. And I got to tell you, I got to really give you a compliment. You've already done a bunch of the stuff that you and I are talking about today, and that's how you and I are sitting here. So I'm really proud of the work you're doing because you stand out from the crowd.
Thank you.
You're not a spectator, you're a participant.
100%.
Right? So great job today, man. This has been I've been on a dozen podcasts in the last 5 years. This was one of the best I've ever been on. You asked some excellent questions, so I really enjoyed myself today.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Nate. This is InFocus, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, everyone.